as they take on the Mariners on your home Twins baseball.
News Talk 1250 AM KBRF. Depend on it.
Local farmers. Lake Cabin Meat and Deli Company in Fergus Falls currently has open slots and accepting animals. They take the hassle out of processing and butchering your livestock. From custom cuts to expert butchering, they handle it all with care and precision. Serving Fergus Falls of the Lakes area, they're proud to support local farmers like you. Call or visit Lake Cabin Meat and Deli Company today to schedule your meat processing. Lake Cabin Meat and Deli Company, where quality meets tradition, on Highway 210 East.
This is Ryan Welly with the Fergus Falls Monument Company. When you're thinking about a memorial for your loved one, I invite you to stop in and see our large selection of memorials on display. The memorial you choose is crafted for you right here locally with an everlasting warranty. That means it's perfect now and forever, guaranteed. Call or stop into Fergus Falls Monument or visit us online at foreverstonememorials.com. Memorials that matter.
It's Morning Talk on News Talk 1250 KBRF, brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. Now, here's Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop.
Good Thursday morning. It is 10 after 9. Hoping everybody's having an excellent start to your day. It is 11 after 9. We got a lot of things to cover and to talk about, including for those watching the video stream. We'll be starting things off talking about that right. I can't get it straight. There it is. Right there. You can kind of see a nice little photo of what the Fergus Falls Aquatic Center looks like, and it is unbelievable. If you haven't gone to KBRF Radio's Facebook page and looked at that video that Derek in our news department put together, that is the preview video. We've got a bigger video coming up here in just a few days, either today or tomorrow. We'll get that up. Joining us, so we got Derek. And Derek, let's talk a little bit about what we saw yesterday. You and I had a chance to go and see it. Mary, you are going to love it. Your grandkids are going to love this thing.
I bet they will.
It
In
is.
fact, yeah, I saw your report yesterday, Derek, and wow, that is a great facility. I saw that on TV this morning. We got covered on a couple of Fargo stations
Yep.
too, so that's great.
Yeah, it's really cool over there. I'm gonna be a little bit honest. As like construction has happened, and I've looked from a distance so far, it looked like a small facility, and I was kind of like, are we really spending this money for this small facility? But we got in there.
Oh yeah.
There's two whole pools. There's the giant zero depth entry pool, which has all these slides, all these other water features. They've got a little play table near the edge for little kids. And then behind that, there's a whole lap pool with this climbing wall that goes just over 9 feet deep in the deep end.
Yep.
I was so surprised just by all that was going on in there, and I was very happily surprised. I'm really excited.
Well, when we walked in, I'm like, oh, okay, everything kind of looks nice, but this is kind of like you said, this is it. I'm like, it's small. Then Len Taylor, who was with us, we were escorted by Andrew Bremseth, Len Taylor, Pam Muxfeld, and then Christian Reed. It's Reed, right?
Yep, Reed.
Reed, who is the manager, and he's like, the lap pool, the climbing wall, everything's on the other side of the slide. You just can't see it.
Okay.
And that was the problem with the construction, because you can't really see the lap pool and all that other stuff from the road.
Okay.
Like you can see the slide, you can see some of the features, but you got to realize that there's another pool beyond the pool.
Right. Well, I thought you guys did a good job at showing it off.
Yeah.
It really looks nice.
Yeah, and we have some really good footage that we weren't able to use in that style of video. So like Dave said, I am putting together a larger news story about it
Okay.
that should be going out tomorrow. But it was really cool. There's a lot of little things, a lot of accessibility features that they've got going on. I'll give you a little sneak peek in in the locker rooms. They have basically a little wind dryer for your swimsuit. So if you get done swimming
Oh my goodness.
It's a centrifuge.
Yep, it's just this tiny little thing. You throw your swimsuit in, it spins it around for a little bit, and it gets it dry. I've used one of those
That's a
at another
great
pool
idea.
before. They are fantastic. I was so happy to see that, as well as they have sort of these wall-mounted
Body dryers.
I kind
as
of feel
well.
like they thought of everything
They
here.
did.
Yeah. It was
Well, it's been a long time coming. They've had plenty of time to think, but they've clearly done it right,
Oh,
and
it's
we are so
nice.
proud to have that as part of Fergus Falls.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And like Derek said, there's a lot of kind of there's stuff for little kids, and then there's stuff for bigger little kids, and then there's stuff for like the next age group, and then the next age group.
Well, and there's accessibility kinds of things
Oh yeah.
too, for handicap,
Yep. There's
families with handicapped kids,
yep.
and so they've really thought of everything. And this is just such a nice addition, and something that we have longed for a long
Yes.
time
and
in Fergus Falls.
and
So
parents that aren't necessarily interested in swimming, there is a lot of seating along the
it
side of those
looks like
pools.
it. Those
Yep.
beautiful chairs.
They are they're so pretty. I love their choice of colors using the
Yeah.
Fergus Falls orange and blue. It was such a great choice
Yeah.
for them to use, and it's just so awesome in there. I was really wanting to hop in there yesterday, but
Well, I dared Dave to jump in the pool, but he chickened out. So
Yeah.
I thought it would be fun. But anyway, we'll have a lot more for you to take a look at when Derek wraps up that news story, and lots more things for you to look at.
Yeah. It's gonna be. I think people when they walk in at tonight, because tonight there's the open house
Open house.
starting at 4 o'clock,
Okay.
and I think people are gonna walk in and go, yeah, this is right.
Wow.
This
Okay.
this is what we wanted.
Okay. And it's going to be open Monday through Sunday every day of the week from
Yep.
noon until 7.
Yep.
So families can go and enjoy it. And I just think between that and our cute splash pad downtown, which I love
Oh, yeah.
too, and the kids love that. And the cool thing about the splash pad is you can be downtown with mom and dad and be in your shorts and t-shirt
Yep.
and just go get wet. Who cares?
Another cool thing about the pool that we did not mention is it's heated.
Oh, gotta love that.
So when you're in the water, it's not cold. It feels very nice.
Okay. All right. Well, it sounds like it's going to be a great addition to Fergus Falls, and that open house begins at 4 o'clock today. So come
4
take a
o'clock
look.
tonight.
Swimming begins at noon on Monday, right?
Yep. The ribbon cutting 11:45. There's gonna be some speeches, and then at noon,
Splash.
the first 200 people in get a free ice cream from Uncle Eddie's. The first
Oh.
150 get a beach ball from the city. So it's gonna be a fun time.
It's going to be busy around
Oh,
there
yeah.
on Monday for sure. And the weather is really
Yeah.
accommodating all these things too.
One thing I did really notice when we were there is one of the things that they did sacrifice a little bit because A, they wanted to keep the footprint down for the park, and B, keep the cost down. Plan on using the Kennedy parking lot. Do not
Okay.
plan on parking at the aquatic center.
Okay.
So they're planning on people using that parking lot because there really isn't a parking lot.
yeah,
Okay.
when they were talking about when they were scheduling the open house for tonight. Originally, they had it scheduled for earlier, but then there was still school, and
School.
they're like, we need that parking
Yeah.
spaces to be open for people to be
Yeah.
able to park.
Right.
So
And I think it's just the weather's going to be nice. It's going to feel like pool weather
Yeah.
tonight too. It's going to be a beautiful day. So
We're talking almost 90 on Monday though.
wow.
So
Perfect.
what a day to be at the pool.
Perfect day to jump in the pool. Well, glad that you guys got a sneak peek,
Yep.
and yay Fergus.
Yeah, they're gonna
that's
really
great.
enjoy it.
All right. Well, thanks Derek for joining us.
yep, anytime.
All right. Well, it looked like you guys. I'm sure you had a little fun while you were there.
Oh yeah,
right?
it was very exciting. I mean, as I mentioned, there's for all age groups. There's like a little section that for the little kids. It's like really low, little water fountains and stuff on an iron little thing.
It's really fun to be able to, that it really is open to all ages and
Yeah.
has something for everyone.
And zero entry, so you can just scoot along in.
Yeah, that's great. All right. Well, I'm excited about that being part of Fergus Falls. I don't have any little ones that go swimming anymore, but maybe, some of my grandkids will probably.
Teenagers, like I said, the
Yeah.
bigger pool, the slides.
Right.
It's quite exciting.
Something for everybody. All right. Well, I don't know what you think about this, and I've been reading stories and hearing stories And this is happening in Fargo. In fact, it was this morning when I was driving in on one of the bridges that goes over I-94. There are people holding signs that say 8647.
Wow.
Okay, so so the argument is that illegal? So we're talking about getting rid of President Trump. Now, it depends on what you
You're
think. What does 86 really mean? Does 86 mean, I've heard people say, you go to a bar and you act out and they say, hey, you're 86th and you're out of here and you can't come back. That's being 86th. Um, Being 86th goes way, way back. It goes so far back, in fact, um, I've read that it's something in, I mean, we're kind of like going back to cowboy times
oh wow.
and going into the saloon, and the booze was 100%, was 100 proof.
Yep.
And, so there were some cowboys behaving badly because of the booze. And so when they told them you get 86, then they would only serve them the booze that was 86 proof instead of 100 proof.
Oh.
So it has had a lot of connotations over the years. Now, when this all started with James Comey,
Yeah.
when he took, was it stones on the beach and
Yeah.
put them in, um, you know he basically wrote with stones in the sand that said 8647, and we're talking now about the 47th president. So what do you think about that? And now there are people on these signs that go over 94, or these bridges over 94, holding signs that say 8647. What do you think? Is that a threat?
I don't know if it's a threat. I mean, obviously it's tacky, but I think we're still in the realm of free speech. I mean, I wouldn't do it.
No,
I would,
no.
shun anybody who
And
did it. But
they are talking about involving the FBI when they see these kinds of things. And I guess I kind of feel like, is it decent? Not even close. I mean, it's
no,
awful. And
is it
uh,
illegal?
is it illegal?
Probably not.
Probably not. And when I think that there are lots of other way worse things going on in our country where people are being, murdered and trafficked and you name it. I think we have to go after those people who, the ones that are wielding the guns when they go to a parade, the ones that are driving into people.
Yeah.
But now I think though, do they have to take a look at these people and say, gosh, what's their background? Is this a potential threat based on their background? But I mean, there's now they're printing T-shirts that say 8647. It's really despicable.
Yeah,
But
but
again, is it illegal?
is it legal? I don't know. I
I
mean,
think what we have to do, and now I've just done it, I think we need to ignore these people.
yeah,
And so now I've given them their 5 minutes. But I think that's what people need to do is just walk away from them, unless there is a credible threat based on that person and their background.
yeah,
And I don't know where you start that deal. But it's really unfortunate. It's really un-American. I don't care if you didn't vote for Donald Trump. I don't care if you hate Donald Trump. I wasn't so enamored over the last 4 years either, but I never made any signs or wore a T-shirt that said anything like that
no,
against President Biden. I just they're even if you can't stand them, you don't agree with them, there is a level of respect here in this country that we ought to adhere to, and no one does anymore.
yeah,
Anyway, I just thought it's so sad. And in fact, as I drove into the studio this morning, I got off the interstate and was driving toward the radio station, and the big Perkins flag was there, and it was just enough wind to make it fly straight out. It was absolutely breathtaking, beautiful, blue sky, few clouds behind it. It was just like I don't know. It, it,
Burka.
it it was moving, yeah. And I think, Where did that spirit go?
Yeah.
It feels like everybody who is on the left has so much hate that they can't even look at our American flag and feel like that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it just sort of broke my heart when I drove by there. I thought, this is America. And we ought to be so proud of and so thankful for where we are living. And then we see junk like this. It's so disappointing.
Those Harvard people, they're everywhere.
Oh boy, isn't that the truth? Anyway, and then the other thing is, um, I would like to see President Trump pardon some of those people that are still sitting in jail from the January 6th thing. I'd rather see those guys go home than some stupid reality
Yeah.
TV star. I really don't care. They can sit there. If they defrauded the government of money, they can sit there.
Yeah.
And I don't know what their deal was. Maybe they were wrongly convicted. I don't know. But I think there are some pardons that make a lot more sense than the Chrisleys.
Yeah. I think Trump wanted to see season 3 and they can't throw him in jail.
Yeah, I don't know. So every day the news, I don't know if you feel like this, but I sure feel like every day the news is a big disappointment. And of course, today now there are small businesses that are suing the administration for all of the tariffs, and uh, it's so tiring.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
why you got to look at the good news. Coming up on Monday, the opening
I know
of
the opening of the pool. Okay, so that's where we'll go. We'll just
and then also we got tonight the groundbreaking for the Humane Society renovation.
oh,
so there's
great.
there's
Okay.
a lot of goodness going
There's
on.
yeah, so there's a lot of feel good right here in our own community. And if you drive by Perkins today,
Look at that flag.
gosh, take a look at that flag and put your hand over your heart and thank God that you are an American. All right. Well, we have lots more. We're going to tell you about what happens to shopping carts that aren't being used anymore. We're going to talk about the shopping cart repo program when we come back on Morning Talk.
Back with more Morning Talk with Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop. Brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. After the markets on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Depend on it.
Community is important, and you'll find it at Pioneer Point. Spacious apartments, thoughtfully designed for older adults, provide the best in senior living. Heated parking and elevator access makes life easy. Your neighbors at Pioneer Point hold a welcoming, family-like approach to living. Choosing from an array of special features and options, you'll find many ways to define your lifestyle at Pioneer Point. Call or schedule your tour online today at pioneercare.org.
Age is more than just a number, it's a journey worth celebrating. Join News Talk 1250 KBRF for Celebrate Aging, presented by Pioneer Care on Wednesday, July 9th at the Bigwood Event Center in Fergus Falls. Discover resources, enjoy live entertainment, and connect with experts on healthy, happy aging. Whether you're attending or showcasing your services, this event is for you. Want to reserve a booth? Visit LaytonEvents.com today. Let's embrace the beauty of growing older together. See you on July 9th at the Bigwood Event Center.
Keeping you company out on the lakes, the Minnesota Twins, and News Talk 1250 AM KBRF.
Hey, Twins fans, it's Chris Atterbury. Off day in Seattle today. Invite you to join us for baseball tomorrow night with the time change. We hit the air at 8:30 Central Time, 9:10 first pitch. Zebby Matthews has the ball for Minnesota as they take on the Mariners on your home, Twins baseball.
News Talk 1250 AM KBRF. Depend on it.
Local farmers. Lake Cabin Meat and Deli Company in Fergus Falls currently has open slots and accepting animals. They take the hassle out of processing and butchering your livestock. From custom cuts to expert butchering, they handle it all with care and precision. Serving Fergus Falls of the Lakes area, they're proud to support local farmers like you. Call or visit Lake Cabin Meat and Deli Company today to schedule your meat processing. Lake Cabin Meat and Deli Company, where quality meets tradition on Highway 210 East.
Got a lot of people talking, saving money, having fun. Got a lot of people asking where to go, where to run. Got a lot of people clicking, saying, I bought it on. Deals, give me those deals.
At FergusFallsDeals.com.
Got a lot of people shopping,
American Federal Bank congratulates the Hillcrest graduating class of 2025. Be proud of all of your accomplishments. Your hard work has not gone unnoticed. They wish you well in all that you do. American Federal Bank has your trusted advisors in agriculture, business, and personal banking right here in Fergus Falls. American Federal Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Find out why the markets are moving. Get in-depth ag information with the Red River Farm Network on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Depend on it.
Good morning. Market update on the Red River Farm Network. I'm Randy Conan. Grain markets continue to trade mixed. Wheat on the plus side, corn and soybeans trading slightly lower here. RCM Ag Services market analyst Steve Wagner said the grains remained under fund pressure.
The market has kind of made a decision, and I was a little surprised by it, but it looks like funds really want to sell this thing off. They're starting to lean in, and I think the expectation is that the crop that's out there is going to be a big one, and that there is plenty of old crop around, and so funds are beating the producer to the sell.
And the livestock market continues to chop around.
Futures-wise, we're well off the highs, but the bottom line is the demand is still very strong. Choice box beef traded $364.77 last night, up almost $3. Those are very impressive numbers, and as long as the boxes stay that strong, it's going to be very hard to break this cattle market. Now, seasonally, it'll happen. It'll probably be in the next couple of weeks. As we move into the summer, demand for beef usually falls off, and then we'll see our pullback.
Another pretty quiet start to the cash cattle trading day with asking prices around $222 live. Nothing established in the dress market as of yet. Only a few bids being renewed in the Southern Plains as well. And again, those are at $222 bids. No takers on that. Cutouts are expected to be higher today on light to moderate box movement. You're listening to the Red River Farm Network. This is the Soil Fertility Minute brought to you by the Agriculture Fertilizer Research and Education Council. University of Minnesota Extension soil scientist Dr. Daniel Kaiser is with us. Dan, let's talk about phosphorus fertilizer application timing here in the Valley.
What we're seeing for fall and spring timing for corn, I think there's some things that do raise some concerns, particularly for those that are going more with the fall application. And I'm trying to really hone in right now on the specific soil conditions and what might be happening, but it seems to be dealing with a lot of soils that have pretty high carbonate. So pHs that would be over 8, closer to 8.3, 8.4, those areas could be more of an advantage. What looks like the data for a spring application versus a fall application. For soybeans or some of the other crops, it really doesn't seem to matter quite as much. But for corn, having something in the spring might be of some advantage. One of the questions right now is with starter, if we can counteract some of this issue. That's the thing I don't know.
AFRAC is a farmer-led program advancing soil fertility research. Find out more at mnsoilfertility.com. Don't miss the dry bean scene every Friday at 12:35 on the Red River Farm Network. Specialty crop markets are special and require more digging than corn, soybeans, and wheat. We do that digging by talking with numerous crop scouts, growers, and processors in the North Harvest region or wherever beans that affect local markets are grown. So follow the dry bean scene every Friday at 12:35 on this Red River Farm Network station. The dry bean scene, brought to you by the North Harvest Bean Growers Association. Listen for Crop Watch every Tuesday during Agriculture Today on many of these Red River Farm Network stations. Each week, we'll travel a different part of our listening area and report what farmers, crop consultants, extension specialists, and crop experts have to say. Join us each Tuesday, 12:37 for Crop Watch. Great way to hear about crop and weather conditions all across the Northern Plains. Crop Watch, sponsored by Ag Country Farm Credit Services, Hefty Seed, IRE Insurance Agency, and Proseed. July wheat Minneapolis, 5.5 cents higher, 608 3/4. Chicago July wheat's 2 higher at 532.5. Kansas City July wheat is 4.5 cents higher at 529 and 3/4. July corn down 2 3/4, 448 1/4. December corn's down a penny and a quarter at 442 1/4. July soybeans down 7 cents, 1041 1/2. November soybeans are down 7 3/4 at 1029 and 3/4. July canola in Winnipeg is down $4.80 a metric ton. June live cattle $1.37 higher, 215.30. August feeder cattle up 297 at 298.65, and June hogs are down 27 cents at $100. This is the Red River Farm Network.
Age is more than just a number, it's a journey worth celebrating. Join News Talk 1250 KBRF for Celebrate Aging, presented by Pioneer Care on Wednesday, July 9th at the Bigwood Event Center in Fergus Falls. Discover resources, enjoy live entertainment, and connect with experts on healthy, happy aging. Whether you're attending or showcasing your services, this event is for you. Want to reserve a booth? Visit LaytonEvents.com today. Let's embrace the beauty of growing older together. See you on July 9th at the Bigwood Event Center. Presented by Fergus Falls Monument at ForeverStoneMemorials.com. The month of May includes the celebrations of Armed Forces Day and Memorial Day, as we recognize those who have served throughout our nation's history, those who currently serve as well as their families, and to honor the memory of those who paid the ultimate price for our freedom. Be sure to express your gratitude for their service. Elizabeth Liquor Store is proud to support our military heroes this month and all year long. Thank you to all who have served from everyone at Elizabeth Liquor Store.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance. School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day. Interscholastic sports in Minnesota. This message presented by the MSHSL and the Minnesota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
American Federal Bank salutes our area graduates. This year, 138 students are graduating from Fergus Falls High School, 27 from the Fergus Falls Area Learning Center, and 87 graduating students from IQ Academy. American Federal Bank congratulates the Fergus Falls graduating class of 2025. Be proud of your accomplishments. Your hard work has not gone unnoticed. They wish you well in all that you do. American Federal Bank, Fergus Falls. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
KBRF presents Where to Eat, the culinary adventure sponsored by Dandelion and Burdock and Service Food in Fergus Falls.
Hi, I'm Zach Daniels.
And I'm Dave Bishop, your guide to the region's culinary treasures.
Join us as we explore various restaurants, uncover delicious meals, and highlight each restaurant's signature dish.
Experience diverse cuisine types, unique atmospheres, and must-try dishes. Check it out on KBRFradio.com and the Fergus Now app.
New episodes air every first Friday of the month. Where to Eat, powered by Dandelion and Burdock and Service Food of Fergus Falls.
News Talk 1250 KBRF. Listen anytime, any place with the Fergus Now app on your phone. Going through today, we're going to top out around 74, so it's going to be great for that open house tonight. It's 52 for tonight's low, 80 for Friday's high, 81 Saturday, 85 on Sunday. Monday, opening of the pool, 88. It is going to be hot and nice. 80 on Tuesday. Slight chance of some thunderstorms on Tuesday and Wednesday, though. But the temps looking pretty good. Right now, Fergus Falls, fair sky at 64. Winds on the northwest at 10. And speaking of the pool, Mary, we're going to actually be playing in the next hour some of the interviews that we did with Len Taylor, Pam Muxfeld, and Christian Reed, the pool manager. So you're gonna know a little bit more as we get into the little after 10 o'clock, about 10:15, 10:20. We'll
Sounds great.
start bringing those to you.
And I'm sure this is really fun for them to bring this plan to fruition and to be able to open the pool. I'm sure it's something they're very proud of, and they've done a lot of work.
And one of the things we were talking about is the last couple months. I mean, you're like, oh, okay, it's got this, but the last week or so, when they started putting the finishing touches on, they said that's when everything started really coming together, and you were like, well, okay, this is going to be nice.
Okay, well, I'm excited to see it. That's for sure. Well, so I was going to tell you about what happens to shopping carts that kind of go by the wayside. The city of Tulsa, Oklahoma, actually asked that question and thought we need to find an answer to that question.
Tulsa don't have time for it.
Yeah, that's right. Living on Tulsa time. Has hired a company called Cart Repo.
Oh,
Okay. And this company goes and they retrieve abandoned shopping carts from across the city. Since December, Cart Repo has collected, get this, over 1,900 carts
wow.
from 40 different stores, with the majority coming from Walmart. The city paid $100,000 for Cart Repo's services, and then the company then attempts to resell the collected carts back to the original retailers at a reduced price of $15 to $20 per cart, compared to the new cost of a cart is about 150 bucks. So they're gonna, and I think what they do is they repo them. I don't know if they fix them up or what they do, because nobody wants a rotten cart back, right?
No, that wheel is stuck.
Oh, don't you? And I'm always the one to grab that cart
Yep.
with the wheel that doesn't turn or keeps turning as you go.
Or does a jittery thing?
Yes, yes. I always get that cart. Anyway, while Reese's grocery store has agreed to buy back some of the carts, other retailers have been a little reluctant about this plan, stating that the carts were stolen from them in the first place. So I guess not everybody happy about this. This has resulted in the city actually losing money as they're billed $15 per cart collected, but are not then turning around and recouping the cost because some of these retailers are saying, I don't think so.
We don't know where that's been.
It seemed as like it, when we started the story, I thought, well, this seems like a good idea. Anyway, so now the city is considering how to handle the carts that are not brought back, as metal carts can be recycled, but plastic carts will require alternative disposal methods. So they're trying to make it better for the retailer to have more carts and to buy them at quite a reduced price. But evidently, some of the retailers are not buying in.
They're like, hey,
so.
that's mine to begin with.
Now, that sounds like an idea of that I would have had. Like, that's a great idea, but I wouldn't have thought down the road to see, gee, what if the retailers don't want to buy these back? Then what? So, but $100,000 out of a city budget, that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what else. How about losing weight in your 40s? Now, we know that as you get older,
Gets harder.
it gets harder. And I don't know. Someday when I get to heaven, I'm going to talk to God about this deal. As you get older, things just happen that shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
You get belly fat, and I mean, getting old. I just feel like there should have been some reward in sticking it out this far.
Yeah, but you got to look at it this way. It beats the alternative.
Well, true. But anyway, and I'm just teasing about that. But anyway, there is a comprehensive Finnish study tracking over 23,000 adults for up to 35 years, has challenged the notion that it's too late to start losing weight in your 40s. I don't think that's too late. I think
throughout your entire life.
I think 60 is the new 40, Anyway, the research revealed that individuals who shed pounds during middle age without surgery or weight loss medications experience significantly better health outcomes compared to those who remained overweight. Participants who transitioned from overweight to healthy weight saw almost a 50% lower risk of developing chronic diseases and a 19% reduced mortality rate in the following decades. Those are pretty big numbers.
Yeah.
And notably, the weight loss did not need to be drastic. The average participant lost just 6.5% of their body weight, roughly 13 pounds for a 200-pound individual. Now, 13 pounds, I know for me at this age, that is an undertaking, 13 pounds. But it's possible.
Oh, yeah.
It's doable. Sure.
I went to the doctor in January, and one of the things they said is, Dave, you got to lose a little bit of weight. And so I changed up my eating habits and changed up a couple other things, and I'm down 14 pounds.
Well, see, you've already done it.
Yeah, and
you're in your 40s, so
yeah,
you're this
47,
story.
almost 48.
Yeah. So anyway, I just thought that was it doesn't need to be dramatic. I think the whole deal is just keeping a watch on it.
Yeah.
If you have to keep buying bigger jeans and you have to keep buying bigger of everything, oh, you might need to curtail that.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the line, you have to say, wait a second, I'm not going any further.
Less
This is
fast
serious.
food.
Yeah, well, that's sure part of it. And um, uh, the new director Kennedy of Health and Human Services,
Hmm.
he says that all this over processed food is
Well,
like
that can't be helpful either.
number one reason for
Yeah.
obesity. And I really think that it is because there's so much junk in there. Um, and it's hard to avoid it altogether for sure.
And people got to get up and get moving.
They do. And I don't care what you read, and I don't know if you've seen these. This has been really hitting Facebook hard, and it's Kennedy and even President Trump and all these people who are talking about weight loss, and they are actually, and I'm sure it's AI. They probably have no idea that they are. Um, it looks like they are pushing a certain weight loss, a drop, or they're saying that it's totally natural and you could lose this much weight and
It's
blah blah
Jardian.
blah. Right, and it's natural stuff,
Hmm.
but it looks like Kennedy and President Trump, it looks like they are behind this. Well, we know that they're not going to endorse a weight loss product.
No.
So don't be fooled you know, by that. I just feel like AI can do pretty much anything.
Oh, I love watching. They do some AI work with some athletes and stuff, and they just are brutal on their
Yeah.
teammates and brutal on the opponents,
Oh
and it's
boy. You know what? Speaking of AI, though, someone showed me um, how they used AI. They're currently shopping for a home, and he said, "I have a hard time going into a house that has, ugly furniture and bad wall color. It needs painting, and I just can't visualize
hmm
what it could look like. But with a program in AI, in less than 10 minutes." um, his girlfriend was able to take the space. She had taken pictures, and she was able to take that space of the house that they were looking at and put furniture that they liked in it,
hmm
change the wall color, change the trim color, and you could visualize what that room could actually look
yeah.
like with those changes.
It's amazing what
It's pretty cool.
it's amazing what technology does. Not only AI, but 3D imaging.
Yes.
My sister works up at the Sanford Center, which is the hockey arena event center up in Bemidji. And this week, I think it was earlier this week, because she said she had to get ready for it. They were going through and 3D imaging all the hallways and
Oh,
the arena and everything, so that they can use that technology for prospective clients. Hey, do you want to rent out the arena? Do you want to do this? Do you want to hold your festival here? Do you want to hold your convention here? Here's all of our amenities, and they use AI and 3D imaging
it's
to
really
show off the
cool.
entire facility.
Well, and I don't know what part of technology they're using to do this, and it's not new. It's been out there for a long time. But
Yeah.
I was looking at a pair of sunglasses. I love these Ray-Ban sunglasses that I have, but I dropped them, and of course they landed on
Oh,
the floor and so I got a big scratch, and it's right where
it's
you look.
always
It's
right where your
right where you
pupil
look.
is.
And so anyway, I was trying to find some different ones, so I was doing some shopping and just anyway, you can try them on. All you have to do is, pick this pair and then hold up your phone to your face, and they
Yeah.
superimpose those shades on your face so you can see kind of what they look like on you. So, I mean, there's some really interesting things. And if you've done any shopping online, you know that if you're going to buy a piece of furniture, it says see it in your home. And you can kind of use your phone and you can see what it would look like in that space based on its size. And so, yeah, technology, I mean, it is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But also kind of a little scary too. But that home one I thought was really cool. If you were one of those people, and there's a lot of people who look at a house and say, "Oh, this is ugly. I'm not going to live here."
hmm
They can't see beyond the ugly carpet or the bad furniture, or. So I thought it was really cool to see the before and after in that. Let me see. Sheriff's deputies in Wisconsin successfully apprehended an escaped pig after a brief pursuit in the town of Wayne, Wisconsin. The incident began when a farmer reported an animal at large in a subdivision, prompting deputies to respond. After a short chase, one deputy skillfully lassoed the pig, which then decided to take a dip in a nearby ditch. With the assistance of the construction vehicle equipped with a large shovel, the farmer and deputies managed to retrieve the pig from the ditch and return it safely to its pen. Another story like this I saw on the news yesterday or the day before. It was on a Delta flight, and somehow a couple of pigeons got into the cabin.
Oh.
Yeah. So here they are. They're about, I think they were taxiing, or maybe they had already taken off. Anyway, the door was closed, and all of a sudden, two pigeons started flying through the cabin. And so they had, businessmen were taking off their sport coats and trying to throw it over the birds. So they ended up having to go back to the runway and get rid of the birds, but they did get rid of them. But it was
Emergency landing.
yeah, and it delayed the flight by like only an hour or something, so it wasn't a huge deal. But anyway,
Well, it's a big deal if you've got a
well,
connecting flight.
well, it sure is. Oh my goodness, you and I have talked so often about the whether you go fly out of Fargo or fly out of Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind going to Minneapolis and going out of Minneapolis. I hate coming home. And then you get home and you're still in Minneapolis. And the parking and the shuttle and the, security is a much bigger deal in Minneapolis than it is in Fargo. Although we had to do it this last trip, and it wasn't a big deal.
I will say this: if you miss something or something goes wrong, it's a lot easier to fly into Minneapolis than it is to find something into Fargo. We discovered that when we were in Vegas.
Yes, and I tried to pick a later flight to avoid a long layover in Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was the last flight out of Minneapolis to Fargo. And because of a delay on the ground, we missed that flight and we had to stay. So I learned a few lessons this last time. Never, if you fly out of Fargo, never come back on the last flight out of Minneapolis in case for some reason you miss it.
I know when we came back from Jamaica, we were on the last flight out of Minneapolis, and got lucky because we were sprinting through the concourse. I mean, the airport is empty, and we're running through it. And one of the guys on the car said, "Hey, where you guys going? Oh, we got to go over here. Oh, head to
Jump
Fargo."
on.
Like, hop on. Drove us across over to our exit, and it was a smaller plane. It was like a Learjet instead of a regular Boeing 737. So it was a much smaller plane, and we were coming back with, I think, the one of the softball teams or baseball teams from NDSU, and so it was.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I've done way too much running in airports the last two flights I've taken, and I'm not going to do that anymore. I've decided it's a lot less stressful to sit a couple hours on a layover if you have to. And I guess it depends. I'm about ready to book another flight here, and I'm thinking, I think I'm going to go out of Minneapolis this time, but I'm going with people that I could drive back with from Minneapolis. So it's not like I'm getting back by myself and then I've got that long haul alone late at night, So there's just travel is just stressful. That's all there is to say. All right. There was something else I was going to make sure to tell you today. Gosh, 5 minutes left. Let me see if I can find some trivia, because you're always up for it.
I'm always up for
just
trivia.
about anything. Okay, here we go. You might know this. What year was the first Harry Potter book published?
Oh. 98, 99?
Very close. 97.
Oh.
Close enough. I'm going to give it to you. What country did French fries come from?
French fries comes from the United States.
Belgium.
Oh, I was going to say Belgium.
Yeah.
I was back and forth.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
it's okay.
Anyway, you were just about there. A couple of Twixt is coming out with a new bar.
Uh-oh.
They've got every flavor.
Twix has to
imaginable.
learn that Twix is just good with Twix.
Just leave it alone.
Yep.
This one is Twixt Snickerdoodle bars.
I'm going to pass.
I would pass too. So it's milk chocolate, caramel, and biscuit with cinnamon sugar. I am not a big. I don't know about the cinnamon thing.
I like cinnamon.
I like cinnamon in bread. Yeah.
Do you make your own cinnamon toast?
I love that.
Yeah, I love doing that too.
Yeah. The cinnamon and sugar that you mix together and
Yep.
sprinkle it on the butter.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that.
There's that, and then of
But,
course
maybe-
the cinnamon brown sugar Pop Tart.
Yeah, I used to like that until they put that horrid glazy plastic frosting on top.
Now I don't know if this is
Ate that.
I don't know if this is true, but I heard somewhere that the frosted Pop Tarts have less calories than the other ones.
I know you have said that before.
And I was just like, wow,
I haven't.
that
I
makes no
couldn't
sense.
tell you. I haven't bought a Pop Tart. I couldn't tell you in how long.
I guess it's probably been about a
But
year since
you
I
try
bought
to
one.
find a Pop Tart that doesn't have that horrid icing on it.
Oh, they make it.
I don't know. They're hard to find.
I think Service has them.
Do they? Well, not very many people buy them because there's very few choices. I like the brown sugar ones, or I think they're maple brown sugar.
Yeah, it could be something like
or
that.
brown. I think anyway. All right. Well.
They're tasty.
Yeah. you do have to toast them though, don't you think?
No, I don't.
Really?
I don't remember the last time I ever toasted a Pop Tart.
Toast them and then some melted butter on top.
Oh, that sounds good actually.
Ooh, that is good. All right. Well, that's going to wrap up another week.
I know.
This is a fast week.
It is.
Everyone,
3 days.
I know everyone loves the short week. Well, anyway, we hope that you have a great weekend. Enjoy this beautiful weather. Make plans to get to the new pool, the Aquatic Center in Fergus Falls, this coming Monday. Opens at noon for the first splash. Going to be fun. All right. I guess that'll do it. Thanks for joining us. Our show today and every day brought to us by Pioneer Care and by Fergus Falls Monument Company. Have a great day.